the HARA chakra. Exploration of the powerful energy that is actually the energy that is a cause of experiencing ascension. That's the HARA chakra. So in this video we'll kind of dive into that as it's coming through. The HARA chakra is not even a chakra really. As we know in the body, to kind of set the context up foundationally, we may be familiar with the 7 chakras. The chakras are like energy points. It's been described as the wheels of energy, but it's where there's concentrated energy, that is manifest consciousness as mind, moving, because the feminine aspect of mind, right? There are 2. There's awareness, which can be sensed. We can explore that, and that is the teachings of non-duality and all of that. And then there is the feminine aspect, which is deep sensing, looking at energy. So when we look at that, there is a pattern to the way manifest consciousness plays, appears. Right? So if you look at it, it's the same as sacred geometry. Okay? So consciousness, the way that individuated stream of consciousness, that is the each form, the way that we experience it, is based on the movement of the energy at these nodal points, one may say. Right? So everything is phenomena. Right? Because consciousness, that which we are as mind, is uniquely experiencing itself. Simply phenomena. The way the chakras move, as the conscious mind, as the person, when we are unconscious, as the Dwapara Yuga state of mind, as if there's a me separate. We are steeped in the narrative that I, as a separate self, am doing something that is causing something to be done. But the truth of that is that it's consciousness at the subtle body, at the subconscious self, that is the root of every impulse, every choice, every decision, every experience. And of course, the deeper aspect of that is what we call as the unconscious, which is consciousness at its purity. So every time energy moves through these nodal points, and the way the energy moves, the intensity of it, to put it in words, is the way that consciousness experiences itself as a certain dimension, at a certain level of density. It lights up. So if you look at all of consciousness as like the flower of life, and that's why chakras, which is seen as the flowers, as Padma with so many petals, it all determines the way at the intensity which each chakra is vibrating. So we're familiar with that thing, and we kind of, because the Dwapara Yuga state of mind is very conceptual, we kind of look at things in static, so we think chakra points, right? So that's how we understand. One note before that that's coming through is that to really realize that's why that the Kali Yuga state of mind, and especially what we would say really at the Middle Ages, was the 5 chakra system, consciousness vibrating at a 5 chakra system, and that's why experiences itself as pure reactivity. Right? There's no conscious awareness at all, even at the personal level, that I have some sense of power to be able to respond, even if it's as a separate self. So that is the experience we have, and that's the beginning of our human experience. Consciousness, we are experiencing at the human level. Then Dwapara Yuga becomes really open, right? Because we awaken to ourselves as the 7 chakra system. And that is where these teachings come in, because even before that, many a times the teachings won't even come into our awareness because we're so busy playing at the Kali Yuga level. So then these teachings of like through yoga, however that is, we have the self-improvement field, right? So at the personal level, we come into awareness, right? And that's when these teachings come in and we kind of feel like we awaken. Even if we are at the personal level, we feel what we call as a person self-empowered, right? That's because the chakras are now vibrating at the 7 chakra system that we are very familiar with. So, of course, at the level of mind, when the mind awakens to its truer self, as what we call as the true self, right? That I'm awareness, not the body. The body is happening in me, and it's through the body that I experience, but I'm not the body, right? I'm awareness. Then we are really, now that only happens when the chakras, that's why I say it already is. The chakras are now vibrating at the level of even 12, 18 and above. And that's when they experience it. And then of course, this is how consciousness experiences. It's the unbecoming. That of course at the conscious level, it's all a paradox, right? That we experience as if we are becoming, ascending, evolving, is actually we're unbecoming and coming into more and more of our truer self. So coming back to the HARA chakra, what was coming through is that the HARA chakra is not really, one way to look at this, one perspective, is not really a static chakra. It is the motor, the energetic motor, one may say. That is kind of a central point, like driving, it's the engine, literally. So it's really, really important. That was really coming up because where we are, and we can now sense into this. So kind of jump into that. So if we traditionally kind of have really even looked at the HARA chakra, what they're showing is that it is many times related to either the Swadhisthana chakra, that's our sacral chakra, right, just above the root chakra, at the lower belly, one may say, sacral chakra, or with Manipura, the solar plexus chakra, which is just above the navel, right? So HARA. So in some cases, Swadhisthana is mentioned as the HARA chakra. In some cases, HARA chakra is sensed as the Manipura. And which one is it? Because it's not a static chakra, it's the motor. So when we are identified and steeped in the Dwapar Yuga state of mind, right? And as we know, we'll kind of jump into this also deeper in the next upcoming video. I'm going to share about where we are, because the play of chakras itself, the yugas, are right here that we can sense, and the activation of it. They're right here in the body, right? So we can see that. So, but I've shared this before in the Trinetra video as well, that when we are awakening, right, one of coming up from the Samudra Manthan, when we come up from the Dwapar Yuga state to awaken to the Treta Yuga and the Satyuga paradigm, very, very key, right? We go through the experience of Samudra Manthan, that is the Swadhisthana, that's the feminine, which has been holding the conditions of the world, because that is what is the play, right? We are identified and moving as the past and the future, taking in all the conditioning of the world that we have taken in like a sponge, and we are just moving as that. So we're never moving as true reality, present, right? From and as presence. And that's the experience of the Dwapar Yuga state as a separate self. So when the awakening happens at the level of energy, at the level of chakra, these conditions come up. And that is what we are seeing in the world, right? Everything. And that is why it's a time for truly, when we know the mechanism, see, that's the beauty of this, to really sense this as phenomena. When we explore the nature of consciousness, that which we are, as phenomena, of course, everything ultimately is relative, right, from where we stand, But that perspective of phenomena as a mechanism and how it really works, then it really, really can be helpful. And this is, of course, in the context of the seeking journey, when we find ourselves to be seekers. Because many a times, otherwise, the seeker is, of course, personally identified, right? Identity. So there are a lot of pitfalls there, natural phenomena again. So this can be very helpful to look at it as phenomena. So the conditions are coming up, whether it's in the world outside or whether it's in the body, one same thing, right? So the conditions of the limited beliefs, right? All of that are energetic imprints that are there in the body, right? So they start coming up. And when we start seeing them, and that is why the connection between the third eye and the plays between the Swadhisthana, that is the Dwapara Yuga play. When the movement happens, these two really get activated. So the call, that's why at that point, is really to be in that witness phase, to have the ability to, however we can find, to have space, to give ourselves the space, to allow for that to come up, to see it. And that is where the teachings such as I am not that become really, really can be serving, right? In that context, because whatever comes up, if I'm aware of it, I'm not it, right? It's like the neti, what am I, right? So you look at it, you allow everything to come up, because I'm done playing with that. And that's why, even though, because the denser level, at the level of the body, everything, because it's denser, it's slow, right? So whatever comes up later. So when that is coming up, every time there is chaos or that there are things that are coming up, it's truly a time of shift. And the shift only takes place when consciousness at the level, because all true transformation, true change happens at the level of consciousness. Till then, there is no change. So whenever these things are happening, it's a time of celebration, because we are done playing the game. Not only done, we are already awake. Seeking, the experience of seeking and the experience of feeling that limited, or the thing of the confusion, only arises after we have woken up. But because we're still kind of at the level of linearity in that process, and we're still parsing that through the five sensory mind, we are identified at the level of the body still. We still think, okay, what is happening? We move as the seeking, but it's already done. So whenever these things come up, right? So it really helps to know this, that if you're moving through a phase that is chaotic and everything, these words can be helpful to really sense that this is coming up. My ability to even perceive this, to be aware of this, because when we are living as a habit, right? We are moving as the habit. We are consciousness is beautifully tasting it. It's here to experience. But once the experience is done, that is when we see the habit or the pattern. Till then, we don't see that. And it doesn't even limit us, right? Because it's serving. We're experiencing it. It only all this play starts. So all that is really needed is to see it. The minute we see a habit, that I was doing that, that is the end of it. That is the end of it. And that is when we know, when we stand as awareness. Hara chakra is literally like this center point which can be sensed as a vortex, and it moves. And where it is moving allows for that. It's literally the Rudra point. It's the dragon point. It's the Kundalini energetic point that is moving, that can be sensed. So when it is in the Swadhisthana, that is when we are, the Hara chakra is, we are very much in the Dwapara Yuga as a separate self. So it's there. So when this Hara chakra centering point comes to our Manipura, as we know, Manipura is the radiance of our unique expression. That is actually coming into at one level, right? Cycles within cycles, many ways to see this. Comes into our Manipura chakra, that radiance now, that's why the yellow becomes gold. And I'm going to jump into that, that's why, because the Treta Yuga cycle is of the throat activation and the Manipura activation. Right? And now connected to the heart. Heart is like the central point. But speaking about Hara chakra, I really wanted to get in this because this is the Rudra energy. This is the Rudra energy here in this. And there are many, many ways to explore this at the level of, briefly put, if we explore this at the level of colors, we can sense that blue and yellow, which is the throat chakra and the Manipura chakra colors, when they are combined, the green gets lit. So this Hara chakra is truly the subtle energy that activates all the chakras. Look at it, that's why it's the engine. And what's coming up, what's flowing through, they're showing me it's like the revving up of the engine. So that's why in the ancient times, the yogis and the yoginis and all knew, sensing into this Hara energy, the green energy, is like directly going to the engine, sensing into the engine, right? Directly to the root in some ways. Right? You don't do anything because this energy is already there. As I said, when we align with it, when we become one with it, then there is this, you become the Rudra energy. You sense that in your body. Your body then moves, it's the divine tool. Feel into this, go into the belly. You feel steady, grounded. Now, just keeping the attention there. Say ra, ra, ra. HARA, HARA. It's like that. If you want to play with this, sense it like a motorcycle that has a nice, like the motorbike, that has an engine or a car, and the engine is here, and you're deliciously sensing the power of your engine, how many ever cc's it is. This is beyond cc's consciousness. This power, unlimited power. Sense it in your belly. Ra, ra. It's like revving up. How you rev up, accelerate right like that. And do this with a very light touch. Okay? You're not expending energy. It's a very silent, grounded energy that is there, that can be accessed at any time. Anytime. Because it never empties. Because it's literally consciousness. Infinite. It's like that silent burning of the fire, Agni, in the belly. In Ayurveda it's called as the Jataragni. That is what keeps the digestion going, right? It's the silent Agni, the roar of the lion in the belly, the dragon in the belly. It's not power over. It has no need to do power over. It knows I'm life. That's why this is the space of passion. It's on purpose as a unique expression. Yeah, when we connect to this, as you can sense, let me know if you're doing this. I'd love to hear from you. It's in the comments, or I check my email more often. I put it in the description box. Always a joy to hear if you sense this. I'd love to hear. This space, telling you just this simple exercise. Again, to be very, very mindful, you're not doing anything. Flip this script to know that I already am. You're simply deliciously sensing that it's already there. Because the more and more we just lightly sense and be with that, the more it naturally reveals to our mind. Nothing really is needed. Yeah, so this space, the revving up of that. This is the HARA energy. And the more we are with this energy, the more we honor it. This is the energy of that sovereign self. It is the activating power for all the other chakras. When we are with it, honoring it, it moves. It naturally moves. It rises naturally so. It is divine intelligence. And its rising is actually it's like a pump, you know? It's like a pump. That's the picture that's coming through. It's like a pump. This is the pump. This is the pump. This is what brings all the Ida, Pingla, Nadis. This is the pump of the Shushumna that is rising up. Yeah, so when this happens, Hara Chakra, no force, just being. And that is why this can be so effortless. So this thing, when we really step into any practice, anything, with the fact to know that whether I'm experiencing it or not, whether I'm doing it or not, I already am, period. I'm consciousness. It already is. That allows us to see. Otherwise we don't perceive, we don't sense any of this. We are so busy making things happen. And then years go by and we're doing some practice. I already am. And when we're in this state, naturally, whether on the mat or off the mat, it's one and the same. We move as this. So that's coming through. Very, very key. Hara chakra is always connected to the womb area, the belly area. Right? Whether it's the Swadhisthana or the Manipura, it's this. So it's like the revving up, like the motor. The stronger that's why we call it the core. The stronger our core is, the more passion, the more adventurous spirit to move through life. Like as a challenge, the more our ability to be engaged and to live in life and to play this game. That is the power of the Hara Chakra. Right? It's Shakti. It's literally the engine that is Shakti. Yeah, you can sense that in your belly. And just simply, breathing into the belly, just being with the belly, honoring our womb space. And the feminine knew this, right? Yeah, because she holds the baby here, right? And the body of the female, feminine is not just the gender in that sense, but is here. It's here. Right? And this is why our reproductive organs are here. And what they're showing is also like the belly, right? Our stomach, our liver, everything. So everything is phenomena that appears. This body itself is a spontaneous expression and appearance of how energy is vibrating. Right? So why is the liver, everything here? Because this is where we digest. Right? The word that's coming, ahara. In Sanskrit, ahara means literally nutrition. And the deeper meaning of that is essence, the rasa of that actually has our body feel its vitality. Right? That's the rasa that radiates as the ojas. That's here. If our digestion is weak, if our gut system is weak, which we know at the level of the body and health, right? Our liver, pancreas, if this is not working well, the rest of the body is not doing well. It is lethargic, right? It's slow. So this belly point, this is our core, right? And to sense into that womb space. The other thing also to connect to this, that's why if we look at it at the level of bodies, right? We are identified at the level of our Annamaya Kosha. That means at the Kali Yuga and the Dwapara Yuga, denser level of the Dwapara Yuga, we are pretty much identified as the separate self, as at the level of the body, and therefore we are vibrating at a level where we are identified. It's all phenomena. Everything matches up to the conscious mind, right? And our five senses. Very gross level experience, because that's what we came for at that consciousness. That's what we're experiencing. But we know that the blueprint, the true, right, from where our impulses, where our choices are made, the way that we perceive everything is at the subconscious level, at the subtle level. So we know that practices, especially when they are done at the level of the subtle body and the subconscious, which is like our astral body state. There are many different names for it. It's our light body, it's our energetic realm, all of that. when it's done there, that's our fluid space, right? That's our soul space. That's where everything is fluid. A simple shift, a simple awareness, and things shift. So it's the same with the womb space here. This is the space where everything is truly being digested, held, right? Swadhisthana, that's where we hold our beliefs that this mind cannot even see. It's the conditions from here, it's functioning from this. So as to say, even in this case, that's why we say the feminine. The Swadhisthana is a feminine, waters. So this, when we connect to our womb space and deepen into it, that's a way to connect to our subtle body. So the HARA chakra is right here. It's kind of just wanting to sense that this is our engine. Simple awareness. That's why we say gut instinct. Where is our intuition, the deeper intuition from this? This is what rises up in the heart, and that can be sensed. That later our five sensory mind, or this intellectual mind, kind of perceives. That's it, it's fed by the feminine. The masculine is fed by the feminine. So coming back to this HARA, the word itself, many ways to explore this, right? Colors and all of that. One way to explore this really, what's coming up even as the colors, because everything is one phenomena, right? What is in our awareness is that which I am. The world is not outside of us, right? So the way that we even see where we are on Mother Earth, if you really look at it, things like that. That's why we have the green signal, and we have the red, which is the root chakra for stop, right? And the yellow, which is like an orange yellow, which is like to go slow, is related to this. It's a subconscious thing. When we see green color, what we have labeled as green, that the five senses perceive to be the green color, and that's why in nature when we go, there is a sense of allowing, there is a sense of, that's why in nature when we go, we feel full at the level of the body. The experience that consciousness, as consciousness we have at the level of this, is that we feel a sense of, fertile, abundance, sense of belonging, that I'm one with nature, right? That feeling is there. We don't even realize the effect that is had, because it's all phenomena, right? We just think it's green, but it's like it's all phenomena. That this experience could not be if it couldn't see the color green. And it's the same with the blue. That is why there is so much blue in the waters and as the sky, because it's healing. It's through that, whether we are conscious of it or not, it's through that we are connected to our higher expanse. Consciousness experiences itself as that unlimited self, that possibility is there. That's why there are certain things we don't even know across cultures. It's not a taught thing. Like when we look at something like we'll just look up at the sky. Why is that? Everything, if we explore this as a structure, it's set up that way. Similarly, right, when we look at greens, and that's why even in our diet, when we eat greens and fresh, this thing, it is the experience of it's nourishing, it's alive. Right? That the sense of aliveness at the level of the body is all through this color green. HARA is the color for that. It's green, let's go. Many ways to explore this, and the core of all of this is all is consciousness. All is consciousness. And life that is consciousness meets us. There's no meeting. All that there is that. But one way to look at it when we're exploring as what we think we are standing separate and exploring is life meets us where we are. And anything and everything that our senses perceive or connect with is a portal that can open up for us to deeply meet the one self that there is, that which we are. So that's kind of the invitation. So through colors we can do that. What does it make us feel? And trust that. The other way is also through this, and this has been coming through a lot, so it's really fascinating. It's like exploring it through words and language, the etymology of where these words have come from. That right now, we use language just so easily, without many times knowing even where it comes from in that sense, or what was the root of this word that we use right now. Why is it used for a certain sense? Why does it have that meaning? Yeah, so if you let's dive into that a little bit, because that was coming up really for the HARA chakra. Ha and Ra, these two sounds. So we'll step back a little bit. Everything as consciousness, when it comes into a manifest self and experiences itself, is spontaneous appearance. So in Sanskrit, that's why the word for that, like we say, Divya. Divya, it's the root word for the divine. Divya, as we say in Sanskrit, is appearance. Mind is and allows for appearance, sudden appearance. And the way that it is vibrating is how it experiences itself. Beauty of that. Like that's why we say everything is Divya in Sanskrit. Everything is the divine. There's nothing outside the divine, right? Everything. So when we look at this, HARA also, it is Ha. Look at it. When we utter the word Ha and Ra, there is an energetic thing that actually happens in the body. When we become very subtle, we really kind of sense that. So for me, it's like when in meditation or in that subtle state, you can really see the movement of the body when we say HARA chakra. A lot of the pranayam practices as well. That's why even the word that is coming up is Hari, right? Vishnu. Vishnu's name is Hari. Right? That's why we say the chanting of Hari Om, is the Bij mantra that is given to the Dwapar Yuga state. Right? It's coming up today and just being reminded that it's Krishna Janmashtami. Because Vishnu, Krishna, right? The same avatar, Hari, as we say. This Hari is this energy. So, linearly, if you have to explore this, in ancient times when there were even no record of this, because there was no lipi at that time. What we say lipi is script. There was no writing even in place at that time. One can look at it this way, that the first whatever expression was born through a body means simple spontaneous utterance. Every word that is, every letter, every sound that is uttered, even before meaning making, is a spontaneous utterance because of the state of consciousness. look at this at the level of children, it's just sounds that naturally come forth from the state of being. That's why if you really see, doesn't matter which culture we're in, if we eat something tasty and we immediately go, it's spontaneous, right? So it's like that. The other word that's why coming up is pratyaksha. Pratyaksha, especially the aksha, akasha element. When we are one as awareness, as that space, that is divine expression. That is not passed through any meaning making or any kind of personal. This is the Shruti state. So the sound of ha and ra, if we really look at it, has to do with the belly. Hara, hara. When we say hara, there is a movement of the belly going in. And that creates the energy of strengthening the core. Right? It's connecting to me to Kapalabhati energy. As we know, Kapalabhati, right? The pumping of the stomach. It's like the even in Kundalini Yoga, we have the fire breath. Right? It's in the belly. And this fire in your belly is burning. Whatever the outer expression may be, you're moving to as that living dragon. You are the living dragon. You are the lion energy within. You are the Kundalini energy within. Right? And that is what the impulse is that is moving you through life. And that's why then the outer, that which appears, does not overwhelm you when this fire is strong. That is the power of all this breath work that we may do at Dwapara Yuga. And at the subtler level, when we start sensing at the chakra level, it's even more subtle because you're doing it at the subtle breath at the level of prana when you connect to prana. Right? So that's here. So hara has to do with this. The sound of ha. Ha. If you look at it, if you have to say ha, you have to take your tummy in. You can try it. Ha. Ha. It is also the sound of laughter. We can connect this to the laughing Buddha. So that's that. And then ra. Ra. To point to the tongue touching the upper palate. Very important. A lot of the beach mantras, this, right? And many beach mantras that I really want to say, like Hreem, that we'll really see at the Devi level, and you'll see that Hreem that you chant. This invokes this energy within. And so, ra, ra, when we say. This is the energy of perpetuation. When we say the ra, ra, we awaken to the nature of mind that is self-perpetuating and experiencing itself. So that wisdom as well arises. That is the thing about the hara.
वीररुद्राय रुद्ररुद्राय घोररुद्राय अघोररुद्राय मार्ताण्डरुद्राय अण्डरुद्राय ब्रह्माण्डरुद्राय चण्डरुद्राय प्रचण्डरुद्राय दण्डरुद्राय शूररुद्राय वीररुद्राय भवरुद्राय भीमरुद्राय अदलरुद्राय विदलरुद्राय सुदलरुद्राय महादलरुद्राय रसादलरुद्राय तलादलरुद्राय पादालरुद्राय नमो नमः। ॐ शिवोऽहं ॐ शिवोऽहं रुद्रनामं भजेऽहम्। ॐ शिवोऽहं ॐ शिवोऽहं रुद्रनामं भजेऽहं भजेऽहम्। हर 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 महादेव, हर 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 महादेव।
That's why Hara means green. Very true. This is the source of the green energy. Keeps the heart open. Right? When the heart is open, this is the green signal. The heart is always a yes. That is why we say the soul, the Atman lives here. It's phenomena. That is why when the heart opens and the feminine is the source, this is the green signal. It's always a yes. We are very, very clear about that which is, that which we are, and the unique expression of that which we are. This is the awakening of the Manipura, Treta Yuga, Satyuga paradigm of the throat and this. And so this is the Hara chakra. That's why this is green. I want to name something. That's why when this opens up, everything opens up. We'll go into the blue and the that chakra thing in the next video. But this green now opens up to be like an emerald green. This is it. The ascended self and energy is only experienced when the feminine energy rises, when the Ida rises, right? Otherwise, we are playing as the Dwapara Yuga, which is the masculine play. When the feminine, at the level of the body, that Nadi opens up and that comes into balance, Sushumna rises. So that is why that's called as the emerald. The other thing also that they're sharing is Osiris. Osiris is also called, that's why it's the green man, or something like that, which is connected to the earth. All this to do with colors. So this then opens up, because that brings in, the heart brings in more light as the feminine, she's the source, right? So the portal opens up, the subtle sensing. When that's open, more light comes in. So now the heart opens up from green to emerald, radiating emerald. Right? So that's one way that it can be experienced as well. Hara chakra. And with this, one word that is coming forth is Hira.
ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमो नमः। ॐ धनप्रदायै नमो नमः। ॐ विश्वजनन्यै नमो नमः। ॐ महालक्ष्म्यै नमो नमः। ॐ विष्णुप्रियायै नमो नमः। ॐ धनप्रदायै नमो नमः। ॐ विश्वजनन्यै नमो नमः।
continue in the next video as it comes up. So I have had a feeling of this Hara Chakra, and 2 again, living and celebrating that which already is, the I am, that which we are, an awakened body, mind,